I might have blown it out before we're actually. Oh no, one of my candles went out. Oh well. Why is it so dark? Hold on. Oops. That's a little bit better. I think I blew my fire out before. But welcome to my side, where we balance, heal, and activate who we truly are. You can call me High Kiki, and tonight we're celebrating the last quarter moon. And then we'll have a new moon in Leo. Happy birthday to all the Leos all across the world. Happy birthday, Leo. I hope that you are enjoying this here Leo season. All right. This season has been feeling good to me. I feel like I've been working my butt off. Like working my butt off. Like, do you feel that energy? Like you've been working hard? Hopefully you're feeling rewarded though in your working hard. You're feeling um like it's all making sense. You're feeling like it's all, you know, coming together, if you will. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Um, let's go ahead and ground our energy. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? So Leo season tends to make us feel bold, courageous, makes us feel ourselves. We may be feeling more called into divine purpose. You may be feeling just kind of more in the spotlight. You could be feeling more confident. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Oops. My bad. Playing with the lights. That's too dark. Okay. Anyway, yeah. And we have Jupiter transiting through Leo for the next year. So take a look at where Leo falls in your chart. See what house Leo rules for you. And you should be able to expect a blessing in the next year in that particular area of life. Okay, let's go ahead and ground our energies. You have to excuse my background. I've been going through some papers and yeah, anyway, forgot to move that. But we're here. Let's go ahead and ground our energy. I'm going to not speak as much during this guided grounding, but I definitely want us to be intentional with just focusing on our breath, truly being present, and just allowing this next 3 to 5 minutes to just be all about us, all about what we want, all about what's necessary and needed by our souls, by our spirits. All right, what's aligning us with our divine purpose. That is what this moment is about. It's all about that in this moment. So go ahead and just start taking those deep breaths in through the nose and long exhales out through the mouth. I knew she was going to do that. And Mom, oh my God. You're not sorry. You're not sorry because you're going to come in here anyway. Because you're going to come in here anyway while I'm. What do you want? That's my point. Anyway, so that just broke up our grounding. Thanks. just going to take this moment to call in our ancestors of love and light, connected to the sun, closest to the Most High, the divine ones. Call you in to first thank you in advance for what you're going to show us, the downloads we'll receive, and the answers that'll be revealed. I thank you in advance for your guidance, your protection, and your help. We ask that you protect us as we download the messages for our best and highest good, and that you guide us to our purpose. We thank you, Mother Earth, for always being our source of grounding. We feel safe, supported, and fully secure. It is done. When you're ready, you can bring your awareness back to the room, wiggling your toes and fingers, and slowly opening your eyes. Sorry, so it feels like something's in my eye. Okay. So maybe there was a reason for that. So something that I've been coming to terms with, and it hasn't been easy, but there are some relationships that I have to distance myself from. I want relationships, and that's what this energy is doing for us. Venus has entered the sign of Libra. Venus, the planet of love, beauty, relationships, enters its home sign of Libra, sign of balance, harmony, relationships, aesthetics, justice. And this Leo energy has allowed me to celebrate what I've achieved, my accomplishments. It has allowed me to be thankful to myself, like Snoop, right? When Snoop got his Hollywood Walk of Fame star, he said, I'd like to thank myself for getting me here. And that's the revelation that I started to have, is to give myself credit for what I've accomplished. Like I said, you could be working hard, finding yourself working hard. You could be finding rewards in your work. You could be feeling like your hard work is paying off. But you could be working hard, but you're feeling good about it, okay? It doesn't mean, this is not fast energy. It just means diligent, focused, and like it's deep. You may be putting in a lot of time, but this is not a fast moving energy. It's very grounded, very solid, very stable. But that Leo energy calls us to like show up. It causes us to sit up straight. It causes us to feel good about ourselves. And what's starting to happen now with this transition, this integration, this new timeline we're on, is that we're realizing the relationships that are not in alignment, they're not reciprocal, and they may feel draining to you, honestly. They may feel draining. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be coworkers, it could be a place. Okay. But what's happening is you're starting to feel and realize that everyone is putting all of their weight on you, because you're the one that is leading the way. You're the one that is doing what they haven't done. You're the one that is the example, the role model, maybe the one they look up to. But you aren't feeling the same level of support. You don't feel like you can go and look up to what they're doing, or you can go learn something from them, or they're going to help you elevate or be better or expand or grow. If anything, they're probably going to hold you back. And you're starting to learn how to say no to going certain places, going to certain things, going with or being around certain people. You could just, you could be wanting to be more alone or by yourself, or you may find yourself a little more alone. You don't necessarily have to be lonely, but you could just find yourself more by yourself, and you're enjoying more of your own company, and you want your own space. You like your own space. You need your own space, especially when you've worked hard for your own space. Okay? And then sometimes people may not have your work ethic, may not have your integrity, may not have your wisdom, judgment, discernment, whatever it is. They may not have it. And sometimes they will lean on you because you have it. And instead of thinking for themselves or trying for themselves or allowing you to be the example, allowing you to be the role model, they just say that you're doing this. Some of them may not even say it. They may not even acknowledge it. They may not support it. They may not promote it, share it, invite a friend. They may not do anything. Say nothing, do nothing. And you really want to be in a space where your friends are bringing your name up in rooms that you're not even in. Your friends are talking about how much of a badass their friend is and how she will be perfect for whatever opportunity that they have. That's those type of friendships that we're manifesting. Those type of friendships that we're starting to see are either available to us or not available to us. It's not an easy place to be in, but a lot of relationships do change as we move forward in life, especially if you're becoming more and more successful. 1616 was just on the clock, on the timer. But as you become more and more successful, sometimes people tend to want a piece of that, a piece of you. They like that light. They see something in you that they don't have, and they cling to it. And then they try, not intentionally all the time. Sometimes it could be intentional, but they will try to drain you of whatever it is. Some people will go as far as trying to mimic you, copy you, be you, act like you, try to manifest what you've manifested, try to be in your energy and do what you've done. You can't. They can't. They can't do what you've done unless they've gone through what you've gone through. And the other thing is, they're not you, right? They have to go through what they have to go through for what's for them, to learn the lessons that are for them, to learn what they need to maintain in their purpose. That's the energy. It requires a level of saying no. It requires a level of saying, I don't want to. I don't feel like it. It's just not what I want to do right now. One of the things for me is this is not what I want to spend my money on. That's my energy. I don't want to spend my money on alcohol. I don't want to spend my money on mediocre food and service. Call me bougie, call me what you want. Call me on my sidekick, never answer when it's private. But seriously, call me what you want, but yeah, I don't want to I don't want to spend my money on certain things. There's certain things that I want to use my money for, and that's it. And that's what I'm going to do. And sometimes it might mean saying no to the next gathering, the next function, the next shindig. I do like a free party. I do like a free live music party. I understand everyone has to make their money. I also understand that the generation that's coming up are not really drinkers, right? They're not really drinkers. So alcohol may not make the money. It's already starting to decline. I heard Mark Barnes talk about how alcohol cost or alcohol sales have declined in his clubs because a lot of the latest generation, I don't know, alphas or something, they're not drinkers. I don't know if that's who they are. Maybe they're too young to drink. Maybe no, maybe not. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. We do have this last quarter. Of course, last quarter moons are it's helping us kind of clear out. Like we start to go into this new moon phase, right? We're going into a clearing. We're going into a new clean slate. The next 30 days, if you will. We're going into another lunar cycle after this. So we're releasing and clearing out any like mental clutter, physical clutter. That's what I'm working on. Um, Even with people, sometimes we have to declutter people, I guess. Damn it, man. But seriously, I think about my to-do list. My to-do list is extensive. I have big goals, big dreams, and I have a lot of things to do. And so I want to get through my list, and I want to get through my list in a way that makes me feel satisfied. It makes me feel when I go out to enjoy myself, that's my reward. When I do something that's fun, I'm not feeling guilty that I should have been doing this or I could have been doing that or I wish I would have. I really need to be present with what is the priority at the moment. It's like, okay, what's the best use of my time right now? That's why I need a driver. But seriously, I need a driver. But yeah, that's the energy. There's this, we're grown up, we're working our butts off, we have goals, we have dreams, we have visions that we are taking action on, that we're moving forward on. And we're realizing that we have to clear out the relationships that are going to drain us. There's no other way to really say it. It's just who is supporting you, and you, when you walk away, you feel uplifted, you feel rejuvenated, you feel good, and who do you feel drained after you leave them, after you are in their company. It's a tough one, right? All right. So I talked about how Venus entered Libra. Venus moves pretty quickly. Venus is pretty close to the sun. So her transit is pretty quick. So she'll probably be in Libra just for a couple weeks, honestly. Um, yeah, because she'll shift into, excuse me, hold on. Oh, excuse me. Yes, that was a good one. Hey, hey, hey. Happy last quarter moon. Hey, 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 Huntress. What's up, sunshine? How are you feeling this evening? I was just going to my Instagram to look at the astrological highlights. Sorry. Highlights for the month of August. And Venus, okay, she'll be there through August, looks like. Is that right? That seems so. Anyway, Venus does move pretty quickly. But long story short, Venus has just entered. Yes, bless you too, babes. God bless you too. Venus has just entered Libra. So, like I said, that's that balancing out of that heart chakra, that balancing out of our love for ourselves and our love for others, right? We're learning to give others grace because we've given ourselves grace. But we are also learning that we want to feel relieved in relationships. We don't want to feel bogged down and bound and enslaved in relationships. We want to feel elevated. We want to feel relief. We want to feel like we have a partner. Okay, those are the things. And not just, of course, in a romantic, loving relationship, but in family, in friendship, in work. We are looking for balance, reciprocity. That Libra scale wants to be balanced out when it comes to that heart space. Venus is all about, it's planet of love, and it's at home in the sign of Libra. All right, so we at least get that through the month of August. I just want to peek at July really quickly because I could have sworn Venus shifted twice. Okay, no, I'm wrong. So yeah, so Venus will be in the sign of Libra for the rest of the month. And if I'm looking at this correctly, in about another 30 days. So the first week of September, first or second week of September, Venus will then shift into Scorpio. So we get a month of this self-love, soft girl era, if you will, but this very flowy kind of energy. I always get that from Venus, and Virgo. And of course, we'll be shifting into Virgo season after this. You're having a good week. That is great. I'm so happy to hear that. Loving this energy. Busy. That's what I was just talking about, being busy. Hello, hello, hello. Being busy. Taurus moon got me well fed and sleepy. Listen, I'm not mad. Listen. Sometimes when Jupiter comes through a particular house, sometimes our pockets can get fatter, but our hips can get a little more plump too. You know what I mean? We're eating good. Like I always think about Megan Thee Stallion has a lyric. Oh man, she says something about I look like I ate a few hundreds. She also says something like I look good chubby, I look good slim. Oh man, I'm screwing it up. I can't think of it now. Basically talking about how your hips can get fatter when your pocket's getting fatter too. I was thinking about also how kings, like how sometimes kings could be overweight because they're eating everything they want to eat. And so I've learned that Jupiter's energy can make us expand, in physical body, but sometimes that means that we got to take up more room. Sometimes it means that we're expanding on more ways that we just need to take up more room in the room. Like that's just what it is. So so yes, that's that energy. So I feel you on that. But I was just talking about how we're busy, like we're working, like just diligent, which is exactly what we're supposed to be doing right now. It's not this fast moving energy. It's just steady. It's routine. It's focused. Hopefully, you're feeling rewarded at work, like you said. Like it sounds like if you're busy but you're well fed and you're getting proper rest. Listen, that's a recipe for greatness in my book. Okay, that's well balanced, and that's just where we are right now. So we just continue to give yourself that grace, and we're going to pray that we continue to feel that energy throughout the month of August as intended and forevermore, honestly, but definitely allowing us to continue to feel this inflow, in alignment, divine purpose, like driven energy. We're just right in the right place at the right time. And then dun 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 dun. Of course, it's not a planetary transit or aspect, but we have the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. And of course, we're big on numbers and numerology over here, and definitely into, these portals or these dates where the numbers line up a certain way, the planets line up, all the things that come into some form of harmony or balance or um, patterns or repetitiveness, right? Just kind of giving us a message or a confirmation or some sign. And that's just what the 8-8 portal does. Some people use it as like a spiritual practice. Whatever, we find so many different things that help us release or manifest. Um, but this is just a great time, really, because it's a high vibrational activation. It's an activation on a very high level. Like, it's Leo season. You think of lion, pride, sun god, light, uh, like I said, purpose, just all the things in that realm, in that area. It's just a time of definitely spiritual alignment and powerful for manifestation. So it's just a good time really to, of course, reflect, but also for us to like reclaim ourselves in a way, like being more authentic to ourselves, stepping more into our authenticity, our this higher calling that we're in the timeline. Like the timeline is here, the shift is here. We're walking in it. Okay. But that's what the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. So it's just a good time for us to be creative, courageous, very intentional. Okay. We're not forcing outcomes. That could be the challenge too. Um, Trying to control things, trying to force outcomes, maybe feeling like overwhelm or they called it energetic fatigue. So like you could be doing, you could be working, like you could be just mentally tired because you're thinking, you're just getting so much information. And so the way for us to kind of handle that challenge that could come with this energy is to ground ourselves and to give gratitude. Those are the best ways for us to kind of rebalance and not get into this frantic hustle. That's not the energy. We don't want to be moving like just moving to be moving. We want to be moving intentionally. So we don't want to have like this anxious hustle kind of energy. You want to make sure that you are thinking your moves through, thoroughly thinking your moves through. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 10 steps ahead. thinking. All right. That's the energy. That's the sky. Of course, we'll have our new moon next week. I'm excited about that. Is that on the 14th? Let's see what dates the new moon is on. I'm wondering if Thursdays might be a good day to do messages, no matter when the moon phase shifts, or like whenever, like no matter when the peak is, making Thursdays like the day. That's what I was wondering, if that might be a good thing for us. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? What else? I'm looking at my Instagram once again. So on the 9th, yeah. So on Sunday, August 9th, Mercury enters Leo. Okay. So there'll be a shift there in communication. It could get more turned up, more fiery, more spicy, or it could also be more thought through. Better words, better what am I trying to more confident language. We're speaking with more authority. We're more sure. We're speaking with confidence. We're not second guessing, and if we're not feeling confident about something, we're probably not speaking on it. You know what I mean? That's the energy we are. We're speaking up when necessary. I'm gonna tell you something else. I've been recognizing when it comes to shifts in relationships. There are some relationships that I've noticed the conversation is very easy, very flowy, very chill, very, very calm. And then there are some relationships where the conversation is hard. Like it could be hard to get a word in. It could be hard to get the person to listen. It could be hard to even understand what they're saying. So done with that. Hey, Blue. Yes, we are live. No worries. No worries. I've been here about 30 minutes or so, but you are not too late. Yeah, there you go. You got it. You got it. Hey, ladies, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you for bringing your lovely energy over on this side. So, yeah, I don't want to get too much into Mercury enters Leo, but I'm just thinking about what that energy could feel like. Oh, but yes, that's where I was going. There could be relationships, friendships where the conversations are easy and flowy, and then the conversations are hard and draining. Those are the ones where you know what I want us to do? Don't say nothing. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. If you find yourself in a conversation, because sometimes people will even ask you a question and you can't even, before you're even able to finish the third word, they're talking again, right? And not listening to anything you're saying. That's something I'm noticing. It's like, I'm not going to fight you to talk or have a conversation. We can have a flowy, um, heart to heart dialogue that goes back and forth. You talk, like it's very easygoing. But the ones that are draining and it's hard, it feels like it's hard for you to even get a word in. It's like just don't even say anything. Just be quiet. Let them talk. Let them talk to themselves. A lot of times that's what's happening. And that's the energy I'm talking about. We're moving up, we're elevating, we're on this new timeline, and folks see, oh my goodness, you're on to something else. What you got going on? Let me go just pry and see what you got going on. So maybe I'm gonna go do it, maybe I'm not. I just want to know. It's just all these we're coming in contact with all these different shifts, right? Everybody's going through these shifts. And so we have folks that are coming because they're genuinely interested in learning and understanding. And then we have folks that are coming just to know. And so it's not about really learning to do or apply what they're learning. It's more just to either know, to say they know, or to have something to talk about. I'm not really sure. But I'm noticing that when I find myself trying to have a conversation with someone, especially if they ask me a question, and then they don't listen to the answer, I'm just going to be quiet. And like I said, oftentimes people really just need to get stuff out, and they may not be really looking for an answer. That's what I'm telling myself. This is just a moment. They just want to vent. They just want to ear, not really feedback. But my thing is, you asked. If you ask, but if you ask and then when I try to answer, you keep talking, I'll just be quiet. And what I'm finding is sometimes it doesn't even come back up. Um, that's the energy I want to back away from. Like I say, even with family, it's like you don't want to keep talking about the same thing over and over. It's like you feel crazy about how many times that you say the same thing. Like it's like what is going on? So so y'all feel me? You feel me on that? So that's the Mercury and Leo energy to me. I know we haven't gotten there yet. We just, but that's what I'm feeling from that because that'll be happening on Sunday. That's what Mercury and Leo says to me. All right. Then we have Mars entering Cancer. There's so much going on. We're in eclipse season, a great season for releasing, a great season for letting go, a great season for preparing for your next clean slate, your next new moon, your next opportunity to plant a seed. Okay. What do we want out of the way? What's in the way? And that's the biggest thing. Oh, so that's really it for the sky. I don't have to, we've done 30 minutes on that. So that's really what's going on in the sky. There's nothing else. We do have a sun trining Jupiter. Yeah. The sun is in a trine with Jupiter this week, or that was earlier this week. That energy is powerful and big. But anytime there's a trine, there's always like a balancing, an alignment. Trines are always like a very easy kind of energy. Okay, with the sun, it's going to bring us like optimism, warmth, confidence, abundance, opportunities, kind of those kind of things. So that was the kickoff, and then now we are clearing, releasing, and continuing to call in this loving energy with Venus and Libra under this Lionsgate portal. Like there's the energy, like I said, is eclipse season. It's just so much going on, but nothing that we can't handle. And that's why we're here. So we know what the challenges are. So when they arise, we know how to navigate, we know how to alchemize, we know how to transmute the energy and turn our pain into profit. All right. So, of course, 11:11. I keep getting 11:11. I got it last night. I probably got it maybe 2 or 3 times yesterday. I saw it today as well. 444 also has been coming up. That's big angel protection, gives me ancestors. And I feel like I had one more. I saw 777 yesterday and 2222. 777 yesterday. That's like divine blessings. And 22 or 222, 2222 is alignment. But 444, 11:11, heavy. Uh, did y'all know that it was National Wellness Month? The month of August is National Wellness Month. I didn't know that. I just learned that yesterday. All right. Let's jump into the Moonology deck and see what's in store for us this here evening. Hey. Oh, look, I pulled out the Soul's Journey instead of the Moonology. And of course, Abundance. Remember, Abundance came out the last time. It may have been was it the last message? This may have come out, maybe. So that means I definitely have to pull from the Soul's Journey. Should I pull from it first? I've never pulled from any other deck besides the Moonology deck first. Let's stay in fashion, but we're definitely gonna pull the Soul's Journey since that deck clearly wants to say something. So let's do Moonology and then we will jump into the Soul's Journey. But I take that abundance, that confirmation of abundance is here for us. Sorry, I needed a drink. That water is super good. All right. Holy Spirit, ancestors of divine love and healing light, please protect us as we download the messages for our best and highest good. Anything that's not for our best and highest good, please close, shut, block that door in the name above all names. Amen. All right. Let's see what we got. All right, one came out. Look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Bigger picture, big picture. That's definitely Sagittarius energy. Looking at the big picture. Let's see. Bottom of the deck. A new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. And look at that. New moon eclipse peeking out on the bottom. So I keep talking about how when these cards come out, it feels like the Moonology deck is like pulling us through the year. Like every time we pull something, we're either right in the present moment, like whatever moon or cycle that we're whatever sign we're in, or whatever sign the moon is in at the moment, or we're like a couple signs ahead, a sign or two ahead. And so I think last time we may have gotten like Scorpio and Virgo energy. Now here's this Sagittarius and Libra energy along with the eclipse. It's just like, it just tells me it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4. When I see 1, 2, 3, 4, that sign to me is to keep moving forward. So I'm always like thankful for the direction to keep moving forward, or the message to keep moving forward, the confirmation to keep moving forward. And so it's just telling me, keep going. You're on the right track. Just keep going. That's what that gives me. So let's read the card or the message for the full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Bigger. All right, let's do it. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minutia can be counterproductive. Or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon. Take time for a mini break or adventure. Additional meanings for this card. This situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The teaching. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture. Okay, so I had a few revelations there. We were being counterproductive. We were talking earlier about like things slowing us down, like you're working, you could be being very productive. And we want to stay in that rhythm. So we want to make sure we're not tripping off of small stuff, we're not sweating the small stuff, and we're able to stay focused on the big picture and what really matters right now. What else? It also said to think things through. We were talking earlier about like thinking things through, like 1, 2, 3 steps ahead or 10 steps ahead. Um, we're not reacting off of like surface level emotions. Okay, we're deeper than that. All right. Think things through. Look at the bigger picture, of course. What's the most positive thought that we can have about whatever we're dealing with? Okay, so if we're coming up against a challenge or we're starting to feel challenged or struggle during these times, or we want to feel self-love, we want to feel confident, that's when we go back and ground ourselves and we give gratitude. It's always a silver lining. It's always something to be thoughtful or thankful for. Okay, it's always something positive that's going to come out of something, especially when we learn the lesson. All right, now is the time to count your blessings. Basically, that's basically giving gratitude. All right. Even if you don't yet have it, that's a big deal because now that's showing faith. When you can, that's planting a seed as well. When you can speak something that you haven't seen or you're thankful for something that you haven't received yet, that's faith and that's planting a seed. I'm thankful for a loving, healthy relationship, partnership. I'm thankful for all my needs being met and all my bills being paid. I'm thankful for my purpose being able to pay me. That's what we're calling in, right? That's what we're in alignment with. So we're planting those seeds. I really like that. So let's count our blessings for what we don't even have yet that we want. All right. Uh that's going to be a big deal. So let's focus on that. And we have our new moon in Leo. So we could plant seeds of purpose. We can plant seeds of being confident. We can plant seeds of, stepping out, being proud, okay, in a good, healthy way. What else do we have to do? Oh, taking risk and being uncertain. That's okay. That's how we're moving forward and we're stepping out on faith because we're in this new territory. We're on this new timeline. We're attracting these new things. We're moving into another phase or a new chapter in our lives. And so a lot of this is, of course, brand new territory. So there's a lot of uncertainty here, and that's okay. That's the part that's supposed to make it adventurous and surprising and like sweet, bittersweet, and bringing it all full circle, right? That's the energy I get from that. It's like trusting life, trusting what life has taught you. All right, try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. So let's hold on to this energy. We're going to be planting those seeds. We're going to set intentions on those seeds for them to carry us through the end of the year and definitely into Sagittarius season. Okay. So you could be taking a break, like maybe this weekend, you could be looking to take a break. I've been going back and forth about celebrating my cousin's birthday on a yacht party. We've literally been outside for the past 2 weeks. So he wants to do a yacht party this weekend. I'm totally here for it, but I really do need to be like focused on some other things. But anyway, so I keep going back and forth. But do I deserve it? I think so. But I also feel like I've done what I wanted to do when it comes to fun and adventure or taking a break. But I've been working my butt off, okay? Working, busy. Let's see. We're eliminating distractions. We already talked about that. Distractions and things that drain us. Done. Be confident, not overconfident. That was another confirmation for us. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. I go back and forth with that one because I feel like I show that I care all the time, but I'm like, is there someone that needs more from me in this moment? Is there someone that is walking around thinking that I don't care? That kind of thing. That I do care about. You know what I mean? That kind of energy. And then finding balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. Didn't I literally say that earlier? We are speaking, but when it gets difficult, we are zipping our lip. Don't If you are struggling to talk, get a word in, you can find you holding stuff in your throat. Just let it out. Just let that energy out because anybody got time for that. We don't have time for that over here. Okay? All right. That's the Moonology message. A new romantic cycle begins also came out not too long ago. So it's like, duh. Of course we're attracting the love of our life. Of course we're in alignment with purpose and we're on the vibration of meeting, this next new love. Of course. Why not? Why wouldn't it be? Because we're where we're supposed to be, right? We are where we are supposed to be. That was a little tongue twister. But that's the truth. We are where we're supposed to be. And so who's in alignment with us is coming through. So thank you for the confirmation there. I haven't felt the need to really dig into love or like romantic kind of emotions lately. It's been mostly about focusing on just what's good for our physical foundation. We're building a solid, stable foundation to build on. Okay, we're putting our feet on solid ground. We're standing 10 toes down. Like we are unshakable. We're not going to be moved easily. So when this new romantic cycle does come in, we're not losing ourselves in a relationship. We're not, neglecting ourselves or neglecting other relationships with people. We are balancing this out and doing what did today's seeds plant for tomorrow? What did today's seeds plant for tomorrow? Um, I was also, so I just posted the top transits for this week, and something just came to mind regarding, look on the bottom of this, relationships. I'll read the message in 1 second. I'll read the card at least. But I just had something come to mind about work. Was it working? Our money, building a solid foundation. Yeah. Hold on. Almost there. I'm just looking. I feel like I'm losing it. Yeah. Anyway, it'll come back to me. But it was a message that I know I posted it on here. I might just be overlooking it. Here it is. This is another confirmation of Venus in Libra. Choose peace, but don't abandon yourself to keep it. Choose peace, but don't abandon yourself to keep it. And that tells me we're not people pleasing. We're not looking for validation. We're very confident in who we are, what we want, what works for us. And we're also properly communicating that. I know I have been. It actually works out pretty well for me. Usually when I can communicate it right up front, I feel like it clears out a whole lot of, unnecessary stuff. Yes, choose peace, but don't abandon yourself to keep it. So that's what came to mind when that message basically told us to not say too much, say enough. It was another part. But anyway, relationships is on the bottom right now. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. That's something else we were talking about earlier, right? We are in the vibration of meeting and attracting exactly who is for us. And if you're not looking for love, you're just probably becoming more and more intact and in touch with yourself, because that's where it starts, right? That's where it starts ultimately. And then we have to make room for someone else, or once we have met ourselves there, then we can meet somebody else there. Oh yes. Oh my goodness, what is this? Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. That's the confirmation. We're not guilty. We are not guilty. It did come out sideways. I don't read these cards like that, but still. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. We're all about growth over here, period, on more ways than one. I'm talking pockets, I'm talking spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, if that means expanding where it's healthy for us. Okay? Let's read. Let's see what's on the bottom. Empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. We've learned so much. We've learned so much. It's like we've done so much work, so much inner work, so much. And we're proud of ourselves. And we're not going to let anyone make us feel less than because we know the amount of work and the depth of work that we've done on ourselves. Let's read. Where Are You? Soul's Journey book. Oh, yeah. Something else that popped up before I read that. So I had on my Instagram, you can go on there, and this hawk landed on my back deck, and I got a nice over 5 minute video of him just chilling back there. I mean, he was looking around. I didn't know hawks could turn their heads all the way around like an owl. He definitely could do that. But I have been seeing these feathers for probably like the last year. When I'm on my walk, I would find them in the yard. And when I started, I found 3 of them like in 1 week, and that's a confirmation for me. So I looked them up, found they were hawk feathers, and of course I had started collecting them. But literally, this one was in the yard after he left. So I don't know if it belongs to him or not, or her. My doctor told me that was a young one, she called him a falcon, but she said he was young. Anyway, feather. Oh, and I had this beautiful flower too. It was really pretty. It was like a wildflower, and I just tied it onto my feather. I collected them on my walk. I stay collecting things like a little kid. But they're like little tokens of messages, confirmations, like you're being watched, you're being protected, you're being looked over. Yeah, there's beauty in everything. Balance is beautiful. That was another confirmation of the transits that I shared on my Instagram today as well. So, Blue, I'm not sure I understand your question. It sounded like a knock-knock joke for a second. Okay. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. The energy of fear has many guises to complicate your path to loving yourself. Guilt is the most devious because it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It is a self-imposed emotion that pretends to be instructive and enlightening. Guilt can help us grow when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and that we need to make amends. After we do so, though, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on. The problem arises when we hold on to a guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness and low self-esteem. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Guilt is not always rational, but if you examine it subjectively, act on it, and release it, it becomes a temporary emotion. Long-held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self-love and happiness. You must continually scan your current emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken. Irrational guilt needs to be released. That's a beautiful message, honestly, around guilt. I'm getting two things from this card. First, first, I get this message that this is how others are feeling. You know, when I first saw it, I was thinking we have released guilt. We're not guilty. We don't feel guilty. But as I started to read the message, I got at first, I was getting more of this is how others are feeling, which makes sense. Um, there may be people that know they haven't shown up for you. There may be people that know that they haven't been supportive. Could be family, friends, whoever. Um, there may be people that know that they cannot meet you or have not met you at the level that you deserve or that you've met them or in a reciprocal way. We'll just put it that way. And there's a guiltiness with that, and that's what they're feeling. It could be causing some distance. We could be thinking that it's one thing when it's really something else. We could be thinking that it's us, and it could, of course, a lot of 9 times out of 10, it's hardly ever about us. It's people and us included and our own stuff. And sometimes when people feel guilty, it's a hard emotion to handle. And so oftentimes people retreat, they create distance. The crazy thing is that oftentimes that guilt gets heavier. All right. It gets heavier with the distance and the time and the silence, if you will. And then as I continue to read, what really stood out to me is about re- releasing guilt related to how we have hurt others and making sure that we know when we need to make amends. I think that we're mature. I think that we know how to say, I'm sorry. We know how to say, I was wrong. We know how to say, I could have handled that better, or I take that back, or I shouldn't have said that, or here's what I should have said, or here's what I really meant. Whatever the case, we own our stuff. We're accountable. We know that we're not perfect. We know that we make mistakes, and we can own our mistakes. We're setting the example, because some folks really, I mean, honestly, a lot of the issues that happen from what I can see, like in some of these weird relationships, but definitely in the dating scene right now, is that is a really hard, people have a very hard time being accountable. And I think that sometimes people handle strangers in a very interesting way. And sometimes I guess that people think that strangers are disposable, but you got to be careful because you don't know who you're dealing with sometimes with treating people a certain type of way. However, a lot of people have no accountability. And it's very hard to build or have any relationship with anybody with no accountability. Like, that makes no sense. Like, anybody that's in a relationship, a healthy relationship with you, is going to know you're not perfect. They're probably going to know your flaws better than you do, probably, if they know you well. You know what I mean? So a lot of, accountability is not happening. But there are people who are waking up, masculine energies included. Okay. And this goes both, this is not all a masculine thing. There are feminine energies that also struggle with accountability. People are people, period. Okay. And they are going to people. People be people in, right? But when I read the guilt that helps us grow is when we realize that our actions have been hurtful to others and that we need to make amends. And so it took me back to that look at the bigger picture card when it was talking about, do you need to show somebody that you care? I'll share with y'all when and if it happens, I'll definitely share it. But I do get this tug on my heart sometimes. You know, if I created distance with someone and made them feel like they were disposable or like I didn't care about them, is there something I need to amend there? That's what it make that's I'll just say that's just what it says. When I read it, I'm like, do I need to sit with that for a while? So I'm gonna sit with it. I'm gonna sit with it. And if I get a confirmation that that's what I need to do, then I'll do that and I'll share it. But if I don't get the confirmation, then I'm not reaching out. Okay, so I'll focus on that seed. All right, Blue, definitely. Like I said, I'm not sure if you were cracking a joke. Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but I thought it was. I'm not sure. Just let me know what you mean there. What did today's seeds plant for tomorrow? Presents? I don't know. Tell me. Oh, they hating, y'all. They be hating. They be hating real bad sometimes. Oh, look at my mess. Please don't judge me. It will not be there. I just had to make sure that I got on here. Okay, well that works too. I had to make sure that I got on today because birthdays and things of that were happening yesterday. All the things, but I'm wondering if Thursdays just might be a good day, period, like on a weekly basis. Let me know. Does Thursdays work, whether I pre-record or go live? Every Thursday you can expect a video, something like that. All right, what else was here? Oh, here's the thing. After we make amends, after we do so, though, it's time to learn from the behavior and move on. Right? Now, don't be one of those people who tells people like, oh, I said I'm sorry, you just need to let it go. That's not cool, okay? Now, some people will nag and complain and argue, like they say, argue. But, and that's something I had to learn as well, in my first like serious relationships as I started to get older. One, I had stayed too long to the point where I had lost myself. But another one was, if you're going to stay, one thing you definitely can't do is keep complaining. You definitely can't stay and be a nag. What you there for? The Bible says that it's better for a man to go sleep on the roof than it is to live with a nagging wife. Another scripture in the Bible that says, and I'm sure a lot of holy books have a whole lot of renditions, but as far as like what this energy is like. But I think there's another scripture in the Bible that says it's better for a man to live under a leaking roof or sleep under a leaking roof than to have a nagging wife. And listen, I hope that doesn't trigger anybody, because sometimes you do have these red pill folks or whatever you want to call them that think a woman should just shut up, sit down and shut up. But in a partnership, a man, a true man, a real man knows the value that his feminine counterpart brings. Okay, that's period. So that whole sit down and shut up. My thing is, if you can't even take care of yourself and lead yourself, it damn sure ain't nothing you can't tell me to do anything. Definitely not sit down and shut up. You probably need to be listening to me for real. But that's one of the other lessons was, if you're going to stay, don't complain, don't nag. That's a blow. You might as well, both of y'all are just going to be miserable anyway. Period. So that's what that says to me. And I think that was it. The problem arises when we hold on to a guilty feeling that serves no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness. Another thing we're talking about, that counterproductivity. Promoting self-destructiveness. If you feel like you are self-destructing, or you're around people and you feel like you're starting to come down, them ain't the ones that you need to be around. They are draining you. Okay? Feelings that serve no purpose other than promoting self-destructiveness and low self-esteem. What you about to do now? All right. Yep. Examine it, act on it, release it. It becomes a temporary emotion. Long held guilty feelings are never good and will create a roadblock to self love and happiness. And that's what Leo season is all about right now: self love and happiness. Self love and happiness. Love, peace, and happiness. Love, peace, and happiness. Or nappiness. Was that Lost Boys? That's Lost Boys. Um, Healthy guilt is a warning that action should be taken. Irrational guilt needs to be released. You must continually scan your emotions for any guilty feelings and bring them to the surface for analysis. Don't be afraid of like feeling guilt. I think that that's something that people struggle with. It's not easy to admit that you are wrong sometimes. It's not easy to admit that you screwed up, or but none of us are perfect. And guess what else? We'll never be perfect. We can only be perfect for that moment. We can only be perfect for who we need to be perfect for in a perfect moment. But other than that, we will never be perfect. All right? There's no such thing. Let's do an angel number, and then we'll wrap it up. Love, peace, and happiness. Love, peace, and happiness. Let's get a little bit of tunes going again. Oh, I think we got. Oh, this is going to have affirmations on it. I don't know. This one might too. All right. I'm just glad that we were able to get this thing done tonight, because I want to stay, of course, dedicated. It's always it always turns out better than I expected. The messages and the confirmations I really appreciate, especially messages like these where it's not just about, that's a good one. It's not just about like relationships and drama and all this kind of stuff. And that's what I was getting from tarot, y'all. Honestly, I was making sure what no cards had flipped up. Oh, it was 17. I thought it was 11 for a second. That's 7777 perseverance. That was on the bottom. But let me just get through the whole deck. Ooh, we had one flip over, so we got two out here. Ooh, this one fell in the floor. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, all right. We got four of them. Okay. But yeah. What was I saying? Damn, I forgot. I forgot. Okay. We have 555 change. All right. That's what 555 says to me. Change. Encouragement, support, obstacle, battle, calling, restructuring, creative work. You are going to level up! Exclamation point. It might not feel good initially, but it will prepare you to handle the greater things in your life for your highest good. That is the why you've been looking for. Push through it. There's a reward waiting at the finish line. This was the first card that came out. Definitely calling in where we are, what we need. Okay? Change. You do need encouragement and support in times of change. All right? Focusing on expressing ourselves. I actually did a paint and sip yesterday at work. Isn't that beautiful? Painted a flower with a ladybug on top. 1111, great shift was the next card. Personal growth, spiritual development, and manifesting goals. Oneness, connection, and completion. 1122, did I say that? 1122, if I didn't say that, great shift. First, focus on the positive changes occurring due to your efforts. Then expand your horizons and permit yourself to try something new. So many positive shifts are in store for you. The world around you is changing in favor of your intentions. That's another confirmation. Like I said, we're in the shift. We've walked into the shift. The timeline is here. All right, and look at this. 111, intuition. Moderation, patience, flow, clarity, joy, movement, self-realization, taking action, unconditional love. Time to implement long cherished ideas. You're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Happiness and new opportunities are at hand. Trust in the process. Trust the process, baby boo. Trust the process. Okay? Another confirmation. And then 3333. Support. No, 333. Three threes, not four threes. Three threes. Support. Support. That's what we're manifesting. Okay, I got two. I need an answer on reaching out, and I need and support. Those are seeds I'm planting. Y'all gonna stand in agreement with me on that? Growth, creativity, joy, community, vision, talents. Seeing the angel number 333 is a sign that it's time to focus inward. Work on your skills, discover your talents, and use your imagination. Unleash your inner artist. Doing so will boost your self esteem and sense of competence. It does wonders for your sense of purpose and contributes to your community. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, lovely folks. So here's something else I wanted to show you on these cards. So look how these numbers add up. So ones, hold on. Twos and threes equal fives. Ones and twos equals threes. That sounds crazy. But y'all see what I'm saying? What we got 1122. Okay, 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then we also have threes and twos and ones. So the threes and twos also equal to fives. I just feel like there's a connection through these numbers that are shown up. Ones and twos equals threes, and threes and twos equal fives. And ones equal twos. Y'all see what I'm saying? Hopefully. I could even see sixes in here, honestly. We were talking about sixes last week and week before last. Maybe week before last. There was a confirmation in that the video where I was talking about the 666. It was 3 confirmations there. One of them I totally missed. I may have mentioned that last time. I just happened to see it and I was like, oh, there it is again. I like when that happens. All right. Oh yeah. Well, I said this 7777 perseverance on the bottom of the day. Change of perspective, reflection, inner strength, wisdom, enlightenment. There's a need for change of perspective on whatever has taken over you now. If you want to succeed, you need to keep going down the road you're on. Another confirmation. Reach for the wisdom within, and then you'll just know what the right next step is. That's it. So stay the course. All right. If you need support, don't hesitate to reach out. I love you, but God loves you more. Always go within so you never go without. And over here, we stay connected to the ones that sit high, look low, and see everything. Anything you need to know about me will be in the description box. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you here next week. God bless you and good night. Good night, babe. See y'all later.